Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to today's edition of the Just Us Review, where we like to take our favorite shows, whether they be in the world of sci-fi, fantasy, Marvel, DC. We don't care what it is. We just like to break it down and give you guys that nit and that grit. And you guys know by now, if we like it, we love it. And if we hate it, dang it, you're going to hear about it. And today, we're going to keep rolling on that old gravy train. We know what we're talking about. Favreau was like, hey,
I like making money.
I like making money. I love it. I want to get on Feige's level. So you know what? Let's keep this Mandalorian train rolling with episode 3. On this week's episode, it's called The Heiress. Now, when my boy Mando, he has some problems with the crowd trying to jump him. Everywhere he go, they try to jump him in a new game, and this one ain't no different. He touches down on Fishman Island, and he run into some people who like, you know what? We can steal his gear, but before we even break down this episode, I gotta get you guys a shout outs. Think about how did you like this episode? Did you like it? Did you love it?
I'm gonna tell you now, off the beginning, off rip, I don't want water shit in my space shit. Like never again. Don't go back to that planet. Yeah, don't go back to that planet. It sucks. I don't want on the seas bullshit in my outer space show.
They were on the seas for all of 5 minutes.
Okay, and it brought down the episode for me.
What about you, John?
I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't feeling the under the sea stuff too, but
They were there for 5 minutes.
they made a whole thing out of it. They were like the boat, the ship fell into the water, and then they had to get it out, and then then they were like, if you want to find the Mandalorians, you need to go on this boat. And I was like, don't go on the boat. And it was a whole thing. But overall, I thought it was a pretty decent episode.
Say it. What do you think?
This was a very good episode. I definitely feel you with the Fishman Island stuff. It just looked very moist there.
Yeah, that's what it was. Like I don't like going to actual harbors. Why the fuck would I want to go to a space one?
Yeah, it looked like they were in Maine.
Or Savannah.
No, but Savannah is actually great. Maine sucks.
But in this episode, I definitely loved he had a team. He does team ups. A lot of episodes, this team seemed very competent.
Exactly. He had people to talk to. Thank God.
Now, one thing, so this episode kicks off Mando. Of course, his ship was destroyed in episode 2, so he has to make a crash landing in episode 3. And he lands, and now he's trying to find his people so that he can figure out where the child's, aka Baby Yoda's, people are, so he can finally get to the kid where he needs to be. And of course, listening to one posse, he ends up on the boat and gets jumped. And while getting jumped, backup shows up. But the thing is, these Mandalorians aren't the traditional Mandalorians. As a matter of fact, they follow a different path, which Mando doesn't kind of sit with because they actually remove their helmets.
And I'm like,
that shit was funny to me though, because like she took the helmet off and he was like, "You're not Ron." The fucking
It was as a crypt. Saw another crypt put on a red badge.
And I saw that, and I'm like, you need to fucking get over that. Nobody gives a fuck about your stupid cracking religion.
She was like, "Nah, homie, that's that new shit that don't nobody really pay. Nah, we the original."
So he runs into Bo-Katan, which, if you remember which is a shout out to both Rebels, and I think she was in Clone Wars. Maybe Clone, but most definitely shout out to Clone Wars. But shout out to Rebels. If you know the whole history, she's trying to be the leader of the Mandalorians. But you know that there's different sects going on. That's a whole thing. If you want that backstory, hey, there's Rebels out there.
That was Katie Sackhoff.
Yeah, that was Katie Sackhoff's character.
That explains why she looked like a cartoon character.
Yeah, right from the show. So they come down with it's like, hey, Mando, we'll help you out with this information, but we need you to go, jump this Empire ship that's got all these weapons and snacks and goodies and stuff. And Mando's a little reluctant because he's like, you don't follow my God. But, Mando's like, hey, if I want to get rid of the child, I'm going to have to do this. Yeah. So they go and bust up into the ship, all like break yourself style. Now, how did you guys feel about this action scene?
And that was fun.
Yeah, I liked it.
Like I said, the boat shit just fucked that. But as soon as they start blasting, which I was fine with.
So I actually have to talk about the scene and the way it was coordinated because they came there to murder. Okay, and when I say, and you know that like the dry humor. Like, whoever directs these episodes, I have to give them a shout out. Because the whole time, they were making their way on the ship.
So they changed directors every episode.
I think this one was
Bryce Dallas Howard.
Bryce Dallas Howard, yep.
He did an amazing job.
She.
Respect
the lady.
She did a phenomenal job because some of the funniest moments occurred when the Empire was checking all this. Like, so where are they now? They're outside killing everyone.
we gotta walk through all this inside the ass whooping style.
Okay, so check this out. So they bust up in there, and it's like, how many on the board? It's 50 of them. It's 50 motherfuckers.
They're beating our ass. Sit back up.
There's 2 ships over, and it's like, it's only 4 of them. How many out there again? It's 25,000. They coming for us. And every time they kept calling back, they kept crying. So they advanced, just blasted. I'm talking about 20 stormtroopers will come up and just come out to get laid back down.
First of all, where did these stormtroopers go to practice? Like, is there?
We'll talk about that in the next episode.
Because
that's something to.
We on the same
wavelength.
Y'all wait till the next episode is gonna be hilarious. So they running down the hall doing dirt. I gotta say the aim of the stormtroopers is a lot better this season.
A little bit better.
But they're actually hitting stuff this year.
But they're hitting things that don't matter because Mando got the upgrade on.
So we're going through the hall, we're murdering, and then the guy comes back and he's like, okay, it's your job to stop him. He fires 1 bullet, he's like, close the door. Close all the doors.
Run for your life.
I have something to say. So throughout the season 1 and up until this episode, one thing that I can say, when it comes to the fighting, so far the Mandalorians, including our Mandalorian that we follow, they're the only ones whose fighting style I actually like. They're the I'm sorry, but like every time we see someone fighting on this show that isn't one of the Mandalorians,
they look awkward.
Yeah, they look awkward. And it's laser, hide behind something.
A specific character who we can't talk about because you want to wait till the next episode.
Yes.
Like, but the Mandalorian. So here's the thing. I think the Mandalorians aesthetically look like garbage. I don't care what you guys say. Like, it's really original. No, like, you're not going to make me believe that they look cool. That being said, the way they fight, they're trying to sell us on them looking cool in combat. But like, dog, y'all gotta do something about how y'all look aesthetically, like the armor and stuff like that.
The way they look.
I mean, to be fair, I'm basing that off of Boba Fett because I thought Boba Fett looked like he dumpster dove for his shit. But the Mandalorian that we're following now and the other 3 look way better. But still, I'm like, nah. Like, if we're gonna do armored shit, like, nah.
They look better than stormtroopers.
Yeah, I mean, of course, but I mean, you know, for me, that aesthetic doesn't work. But they like I said, when they came in blasting, I stood up and was like, okay, we're getting somewhere.
We get to the part where they get pushed to the cargo hangar, and the dude's like, "Where y'all at?" He's like, "We hiding like bitches in the in the cargo hangar." He's like, "Wait,
we got them locked in." Where did you lock them in at?
And then
in the cargo hangar.
They open the hatch and kill everybody. So then it was like, okay, we got the crates, we got the weapons, let's bounce. And old girl was like, nah. We want more than that. We can't hit for everything. And Mando was like, I ain't signed up for this. I got a kid waiting for me at home. And she was like, hey, yo, I'm changing the deal. You better hope I don't change it any further. And Mando fell in line. So they ended up busting into the cockpit.
Well, before we get there, because Captain, first of all, that dude plays bad guy in a lot of movies.
Oh yeah.
But the captain was like, "Hey, Moth, they coming. They on our ass. We need reinforcements. What you got? Send everybody." He like, yeah. So.
Oh, wait. He was like, "How far into your ass are they? Are they at the cusp of your ass, or are they in your ass?"
He said they're knocking on the front door.
He
Like, oh,
you know what you gotta do.
Oh, well, that's done. Don't call here no more. Don't be calling up my phone and you dead.
Don't be using up my minutes.
Hey, yo, add him to the block list. So he's like, okay.
He's prepared to crash the ship.
And he goes, "Glorious seppuku. Wait, before I kill myself, Katie Sackhoff busts up in there like she pays bills and like, where's the trigger?" So what she's looking for is the dark saber. And sorry, no, it's called something else. It's not called the dark saber. It's called the death.
Sword of the darkness flying.
So anyway, they go she's looking for the dark saber, and if you guys know the history of this saber from Star Wars lore, the very first Mandalorian to join the Jedi Order was actually gifted with this custom saber, and it's like if you get this saber, then technically you can rule Mandalore. So what she's on the hunt for, and we already know a pimp named Moth is the one holding on to it. So all in all, episode good, bad? What is it rank?
I thought it was good. It was good.
Yeah.
Like I said, that fish crap wasn't great, but like everything else made up for it.
We're missing one thing. So she gave us a piece of information at the end of the episode, and she was like, "Yeah, there's a Jedi that you can go find," and she gave a shout out to Ahsoka Tano.
Ahsoka Tano. So that means that we should be getting, if she is playing her, my girl, what's her name? Rosario Dawson. Running the helms as Ahsoka, which, my God, if that happens. But my favorite part of the episode is when Mando gets back to his ship. And he's like... That ship was held together with duct tape and spit. And he was like, "I gave you 1,000 credits, and you put duct tape on my face." And the dude was like, "That's the best I can do." I would have worked 999 credits out of his ass, because if you saw that ship, it looked like it was a puppet. Like the doors wouldn't even close.
Yeah, I would have had to run his fade with that cardigan.
I wouldn't even done that. I'd have been like, "Oh, thanks for your ship," and he would have been like, "What are you talking about?" Then I would have been like, "The one that you gave me for the 1,000 credits."
like
to drag my new ship. I have 2 ships now.
And to his credit, the fish man was like, "I don't even think I could put gas in this boat."
He did tell him, he was like, "Dude, I don't know. I may not be the one." He almost said, "I will rob you."
He said, who gonna fix my boat? I heard this dude, he lived at a pineapple under the sea. But all in all, this was
This was a pickup.
This was a pickup from episode 2. Like I said, we're riding the roller coaster of the Mandalorian. But when it comes to Star Wars stuff, this is one of the better products.
Does it give you Rogue One vibes? I know Rogue One was cinematic.
Not particularly. I guess so, but in a different way. Like it feels like a fleshed out Rogue One, a fleshed out universe.
I have a question for you guys, and this is just an offshoot.
Mm-hmm.
You seen his ship? Mm-hmm. You guys ever seen a show called Firefly?
Yeah.
Does it look like the Firefly ship to you?
I mean, I don't really remember Firefly because I didn't watch Firefly. I didn't get the appeal.
I would definitely say Firefly ship is a bigger ship, but I don't remember the design.
Don't worry about it. But
I mean, if they're trying to tap into that, that's a mistake.
Well, no, aesthetically, I was just noticing some things, but that just could be like just something that I saw that probably didn't.
I mean, if you, like I said, if they designed that ship to tap into those vibes from that old ass show no one cares about from 50 years ago, like I said, it's a mistake. you should stick to your source material that you guys are making up and come up with new shit, and keep the Jedi shit to a minimum.
But with that being said, thank you guys for joining us for this episode of the Justice Review. Like and subscribe. As I say, stay tuned because we will be doing these on an episodic basis. But until next time, peace.